This is Morgan. Hey, Morgan, what's going on there?
Hi, Dr. Drew. How's it going?
Good. What's up, Morgan?
Good. So currently I am taking, the famous Mounjaro medication, the weight loss meds.
Right. So
I
Mounjaro,
have
Ozempic.
PCOS, so
We got to talk about
Okay,
this.
we will. Go ahead.
So I'm, a little bit bigger, and I've been taking it for like 6 months, and I've lost about 30 pounds.
Good
but
for you.
Good for you.
when do I need to go off of it? Is it something that I need to be on for forever, or do I, what are your opinions on that?
Yeah, I actually don't have a firm opinion. I don't like people using medicine or staying on medicine that doesn't have a clear medical indication. Now, if your weight is having medical consequences, then I'm for it. The question of how long is, I don't know, but anybody's answered that question meaningfully. I know a lot of people that go on for, 6 months, a year, and there is a tendency for people to go back. And particularly in those first few weeks, what people will describe when they come off it is extreme hunger. Wow. Extreme hunger. And so you immediately start having to deal with that. And of course, that, the weight goes up. So if you do come off, you've got to have some sort of plan for not just dealing with that hunger, but also maintaining a healthy lifestyle going forward so you can keep this weight off. How much do you actually weigh, if you don't mind?
So now since I've lost 30 pounds, I weigh 250.
All right. So it's sort of clinically relevant weight loss, and you'd want to stay on it, certainly to get into a range that is not, people aren't starting to worry about your health, your skin, and things like that.
Morgan, have you told people you're on it?
So that's a controversial question because obviously the more I lose, people are going to ask. And I mean,
Right.
it's I'm doing work, but I'm not doing like major work. So I don't want to lie to people, So
Why is
I
that?
haven't
Wait, hang
really
on.
been approached.
So this is
So wait a minute.
so this is something I want to talk to you about.
People are guilty about taking this?
Oh, there's a whole social dynamic to this.
What?
As someone who has dealt with weight stuff my whole life, okay, it is a big part of my life.
Yeah.
It's all my family talks about: food, body, weight.
This is the Jewish show.
This is the Jewish. You understand, Morgan. I asked that question because I'm interested to find out, because there's this. We talked about Ozempic, my co-host and I, on You Up.
Yeah.
We were talking about we're not sure what the allowable opinion is to have right now.
That's insane.
But you know what I'm talking about.
I kind of do. I mean, it's a look. It is a medical management for. Yeah, I mean, if you need to lose 5 pounds, I don't think this is a great thing.
So my mom has been talking about it since she's heard about it.
Yeah.
She doesn't stop talking about it.
Yeah.
And she's as I said, in a bubble inside a bubble.
Yes.
So now the whole community is talking about it.
Of course.
There's people on it, there's people off it.
Of course.
There's people they think are on it, who's on it, who's got the prescription, who's paying out of pocket. Prescription, it's $11, out of pocket $9.80. So and we don't know morally. Are you taking what I would wonder?
Morally?
Well, are you taking what's it really for?
For diabetes.
Are you taking diabetes medication out of a diabetes patient's hands?
Oh,
is there a limited
no.
supply? We don't know. This is what these are where the questions come up because
that's an interesting question, but believe me, the drug companies will step it up.
Sure, but are they going to overcharge now? Are they going to overcharge the diabetes people because they're getting my mom in Boca who wants to lose a few? It is. I think it's interesting. I just think it's interesting because
that part is interesting, and I would argue that the insurance companies, that's the insurance company's problem, not going to be the patient's problem.
Well,
and Medicare's problem.
Well,
too.
it becomes my problem when someone loses 50 pounds and they look at me and they go, "You got to drink more water," and I'm like, "You're a fucking drug addict. You're telling me to drink water? I'm struggling out here."
This is not about drug addiction.
No, I know, but I'm saying,
but that behavior that you were describing in the bubble, that's drug addict behavior.
Well, because they're all looking for scripts.
Well, they get it. I don't. What's going on? Why can we allow them to get it when I don't get it?
But if I could
that's
lose,
nonsense.
But
that's
the thing
childish
is,
too.
I'm just saying,
it's interesting that 75-year-olds are into that.
Are you kidding me?
Crazy.
Everything's high school.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Hollywood's high school. The community. But I think Morgan, what she's going through right now, is very relatable to people. Is it, if this was, it's posed as a diabetes medication.
Well,
but if you said, hey, my weight is a physical, as you said. For some people, their weight is mentally beyond them. I do believe that.
It's a medical problem.
Medical issue. So if this was Ozempic was now called, is for weight loss.
Yes, it will be.
That's what
They will get the
I'm wondering.
approval.
Are we at the beginning of when
Yes,
this won't be?
now doctors are using it so-called off-label. We're allowed to do anything we want with any medicine. Anything.
Okay.
It's on us. So they're using it off-label now, and guess what? It works. We have lots of medicines off-label that work. Drug companies can't promote things for off-label
Sure.
use. That's against the law.
When does that happen, you think?
When do they do that, or when do they stop doing that and
at
get
some
the
point,
approval? When's the approval
When's
coming?
the approval coming?
You know, it's interesting. Sometimes when there's so much money to be made without the approval, they just don't bother, right? So we'll see if they even bother. But if they do, which they should, 3 to 5 years, 3 years, let's say.
Like, I mean, you get into this like witch hunt type of thing. Like I'm watching the Masters. Phil Mickelson looks fantastic. And this is a guy dealt with weight stuff his whole life. He's looked the same way.
he's got rheumatoid arthritis or something too, right? Doesn't he, or something crazy like that?
I don't know his medical.
Yeah,
I haven't done his physical.
all right.
But I will say, you go well, because it seems as though people of means
Or doing this.
are doing this.
I have prescribed it. I've done it, and I would use it for diabetes also. And I've done it on a very, very limited basis for weight loss. And this kind of seems like to me how it should be done.
Well, if I was getting ready, like for me, I've been trying to lose 10 pounds my whole life. Okay. I would say if this was the magic pill that I can live my life without, it's been on my mind.
Yeah, I get it. We'd have to sit down and talk about it for a while.
Right.
You and I would sit down.
You would hope it was not a mental thing, right?
Because we'd have to talk about risk reward when the probability is you'll go right back.
That's the problem, and that's what I think Morgan's dealing with.
Except Morgan is gonna. What I'm telling her to do is
Right.
get it so far down that you really have a running start on this thing,
Right.
And then you can really start to establish some new patterns, and you can do things like exercise, more vigorously and stuff.
If I was to give her a suggestion, and I'm not a doctor,
Go
but
ahead.
I think the mental aspect of losing weight is like way more than people give it credit for.
Of course.
And I think like Noom is an app that like sponsors my podcast. I just love that they've admittedly it's all psychology shit.
Except I think I was just talking to somebody about
is
Noom
it bad?
today. I think they're about to go into this other world with doctor-managed medicines and things.
Oh, really? Well,
so I just saw it as code for, here comes Ozempic. Here it comes.
right. Well, I would say, but I do like that they get you thinking, like you said, running
but
Head
it's
Start.
both important. And
Right.
so that's what we're coaching Morgan up. So does any of this help for you? No.
It does, yeah. I get married in August, so I'm a little worried that if I have to get off of it, I'm going to gain weight back, and then my expensive dress will not fit anymore.
Well,
See, this is another element. I'm getting married in August.
Yeah.
Morgan, there's an element where you're.
look,
good
it
for
might
you.
not not fit either way though, right? If you stay on it, you might continue to lose weight, and then it
Right.
doesn't fit. So I know these are sort of what do they call them? Problems of success.
Luxury issues.
Luxury issues. Yeah.
Well, I live
Rob
in the
Henderson.
land of.
Do you read Rob Henderson?
What's that?
He's the guy that talks about luxury beliefs.
Oh, I have a podcast that I call the Luxury Lounge,
Oh, so
where
I
people
gotta-
can write in with
I gotta
their
get you-
luxury problems.
This guy's a sociologist at Cambridge.
Oh, really?
And yeah. I mean, a social psychologist.
I love luxury issues.
Well, this is one of them.
Okay.
And you work with your doctor, just like I told Jared, if we were together, I'd sit down, we'd really talk about this, and you should have somebody that's working with you. And of course, as you're kind of alluding to, the weight comes back, but you can do stuff. But you need a running start. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Just don't tell your fiance. No.
The fact that people give you shit about it to me is disgusting.
People give shit.
Morgan, if anybody gives you shit for taking care of yourself, and by the way, taking your doctor's direction, that is disgusting. People have what goes on between a patient and a doctor is nobody's business.
Well, it's interesting.
Nobody's business.
It's interesting. In my comments section, I put up a joke. I was like, I did the joke I just did with you. Like, don't tell me to drink a lot of water if you're on Ozempic. There has to be a level of honesty here.
Yeah.
And the comments from the mean people were especially weird and mean. It was like, this idea of hard work. They're going, and it's like, I guess their thought is, I'm in the gym. You're getting this magic wonder, and it's like that's not the case. That's an insane way to look at life, and
also
mean way, and
also humbly go fuck yourself.
Right.
Mind your own business.